What is up, guys? Welcome back to this video. Man, I know it has been a long time since the last upload. Right now we're in the future. We're going to jump back in time to show you how we got to where we are behind me. But I know it took a long time, but I wanted to make sure I had enough progress to make a video. A lot of people make a video over every little bar they build or every little thing they do, but I know I value your time more than that. So I want to make sure that if you're going to sit down and watch this, it's going to be at least something that's worth looking at. So let's hop into how we got to where we are now. What's up, guys? Welcome back. Another day. Michael and I are out here, man. We've just been going hard. This has been like, you know, two weekends straight of just working on this thing, or 2 Saturdays at least. We're getting down and we got everything we basically need built. And we're gonna rip this sucker out and tack weld it. So Mikey's getting started taking the coilovers out and a roll bar, link bar is gonna get the stuff all unbolted. I'm gonna do some more tacks to make sure everything stays nice and solid. And we're gonna pull this thing out. Back half is out. You can see our X. Looks pretty simple once you get it out here. I think we're gonna hang it from this little scale here, see if we can't get a weight on it. I'm thinking, well, 130 pounds. Ish. We'll see. We haven't, yeah, close to 4 full sticks, so. Yeah, oh, with the brackets. Yeah, 130 to 150, I bet. All right, let's get it up there. All right, we got this thing hanging here. 130 pounds. Dang, I'm good. Just barely touching it, barely trying to balance it. So, essentially, yeah, we saved a pretty good amount of weight there. Cool, let's get it welded up. All right, here goes Michael. No practice, bro. Why don't you start on a different piece, man? Wow. No practice weld, he's just going right in to the money shot. That's the one everyone's gonna see.
Oh yeah, dude.
Start on the X.
It's just a root back, bro.
Alright. There it is. The first TIG weld on the frame. Now Michael can say he built this thing. All right, you guys, I just did it. My very first TIG weld in my whole life. I don't know if you can see that, but we're gonna grind this down, so I'm not even worried about it. But for my very first one, I don't think it's that bad. It got a little crazy down here, but we're gonna, by the end of this, I'll probably be a dang pro. Looking for job interviews. Man, does it feel like forever since I've caught back up with you guys. I don't remember the last day I filmed out here, Saturday or Sunday or something, but we had just started TIG welding. And it's now Thursday night, and I've been TIG welding every night since. Like I said, I had never even TIGged before. I was just learning. So none of them are perfect, but man, just every angle, just getting this sucker knocked out. So it's getting to the point that it's not even fun anymore. I'm just over the welding, and I'm ready to see this thing back in the truck, but I can't do it. It just makes it so much easier to do things while this is out of the truck. So I just gotta buckle down, hammer down, and just keep rocking. Also still gotta get the axle welded up. I was planning on having that done already, but just not the case. So what I got to a point where I was done TIGging, and I started working on some more bracing. So I've got these little guys here, and I'll show you how they're gonna go. They'll end up going, oh, hang on. They'll end up going in there, kind of like that, and then we'll have multiple more that'll work their way down the chassis. So I'm not sure how many. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do the spacing because these aren't even, but that's what I've been working on. So I'm gonna keep on rocking. Dang, son, has it been a while. It is Wednesday, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 Wednesdays since the last video you guys watched, but just been tigging and tigging and tigging every night after work, nonstop. It is now midnight, I don't know if I said that, and we finally got pretty much everything welded up, everything down here at least, so that this is actually upside down, so we can flip it over and get it in the truck. Still got some more things to weld back here, but we can do that once it's in the truck because we're gonna have to weld our down bars anyways and some more bracing. So that's that. But you know, all this stuff that's gonna be a pain to get to is all welded. And I had never TIG welded before in my life, not even one time before doing this chassis, and now I've probably done like 40 hours worth and I'm still terrible. But I almost busted the MIG welder out to, you know, knock some of this out. I was like, I'm over it. And I did one MIG weld and I was like, nope, back to the TIG. It's just not worth it. So tomorrow night we're gonna get back out here and I'm gonna MIG weld these up on both sides, probably make a plate so we can have something to plug weld into the frame. So let's get to there right now. All right, we've been catching up. Got the old axle and 4-link brackets all welded up, 360 degrees. Got our plates welded on so we can plug weld these. Got these all welded up all the way around. It is now time to set this thing back in the truck for good. We got the back half back in, got it leveled up. I put some decent, more of like a stitch weld up front just to hold it nice and solid. So man, it's looking good. I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped to have it back in the truck. I was tired of welding. I was tired of it sitting out there. It's in the truck now. Now I feel like we're actually rolling. So we're gonna taking this back window out so we can build our new down bars and get these ones out of here. I am going to get the seats out, get the carpet pulled up, and get it nice and bare in here so we can cut and grind and not worry about lighting anything on fire. We just built this new down bar, got her at a 33-degree angle, so now from the side, when the bed's up here, you're barely even gonna see this thing.
Dude, this back half's gonna fold like a cheap...
Like a pretzel, son, like a pretzel in my mouth.
What did that guy say? Cheap tent?
Oh yeah, like a cheap tent.
Like a cheap tent.
Nothing wrong with the cheap tent.
First time.
We set the bed back on here just so we could, there's some self-tappers in it to hold it in place so when we build our new mounts, it'll be simpler. Because we were gonna cut this back section off now that we don't need it anymore. We just used it to help set up the bedside, so I'm gonna cut them things out so we can get a good side profile at her. Perfect. Heavy?
Not too bad.
Here, just set her down a little. Even this piece we cut out weighs 30 pounds, so obviously we're gonna be adding that back in, but I consider it probably be a wash, so. Oh my gosh, so you guys don't know how long it's been. Well, you might, because if you look at how long it was between the last racetrack video and the time you're watching this, you're gonna know it's been a while. So, didn't have the bender, but I talked to Pete and he was like, yep, you can use it for 2 nights. So I got 2 nights. So we're gonna, Ron and I, he's over there, we're gonna get it unloaded. We're gonna start knocking as many bars out as we can and try to get her ready to rock. All right, so night one back with the bender and notcher. I built these 2 bars, which are really gonna help triangulate this rear and keep it all supported. Probably end up adding some bracing in here later, but these are just sitting up here, and at least I got them built and they're looking pretty good. And they actually have a tiny bit of triangulation. I don't know if you can see it. Then I also whipped up these little bars, my frame to my main hoop outriggers. So those are notched and fit in there. Just trying to do as much notching and bending as I can while I have it. I can do all the welding and stuff later. So tomorrow night I'm probably going to work on building off of those riggers some cab mounts. So that'll be all done, and then I'm gonna build the transmission cross member, because I have everything now to do that. And that'll be the last piece that I really need the bender for right now. So I can get that done. Pete can get it back, keep working on his stuff. So I'll see you guys tomorrow night. All right, next night we're back out here. Got home and came home to a little care package. Look at, someone dropped this off right behind the old shop. Anxious YouTuber, wonder who that is. No, I'm just kidding, it's my boy Jeremy. Went and picked up some metal for me. And looks like he also brought me some sweet billet nitrous bottle mount. So big thanks to you, Jeremy, hooking it up. Pays to have good friends. But tonight we're probably gonna hop on to the trans cross member. Like I said, I'm trying to get all the bending and notching done while I have the stuff. So maybe trans cross member, get that mocked up. Drive shaft loops, maybe. So I'm just gonna see where I go. Get everything kind of mocked up, and then tomorrow night or the next night I'm free and I'm not on the lake or something, we'll get this stuff welded up. So I'm gonna start seeing what's up with this trans cross member. Got a mount here that I had. It's like a small block mount. I think it's gonna work. I got some bushing ends from Rough Stuff, so that should work. And then some trail gear tabs. So pretty much everything I need to weld on the side of the frame and go through here. So that's what I'm gonna get started on. So I whipped up these 2 little loops. These are 1.25 inches. This one's just sitting here and notched the ends. So this will be like a rear drive shaft loop. And then I made another one. It's just sitting there. So that's like a front drive shaft loop. So we got drive shaft loops. Then I went ahead and cut some holes through the cab. And I made these little bars that are gonna connect through to the down bar. Because the way these bars are triangulated, it's gonna put a lot of pressure right in the center of this bar, and it doesn't have any support except for the top and down here. So I wanted to give it something in the middle to really keep it, you know, so it had no flex. So this bar goes up, meets this, which this ties into the seat bar here, and this ties into the main hoop, which is on the same shear point essentially as the down bar. Then this will go down to the front. So really we kind of got a big triangle where it's all connected and it all kind of pushes together under flex, so it should be pretty strong. But yeah, I had to give Pete back the bender and notcher, so I just wanted to get everything bent and notched that I could. Didn't weld anything. And now we're gonna get all these cleaned up and I'm gonna start getting everything tacked in place. While I had the notcher, I also started on my trans cross member. So I got some tabs, the bushings there, and a piece of chromoly, 1 5/8, notched and got that just tacked in there. So now I just gotta build a little brace or bracketry that comes off the tube up to the transmission mount. So that is getting close. So we are really getting close. It's now Saturday morning. I don't know what my weekend plans are gonna be, but I'm really gonna shoot for getting a lot of work done this weekend. I want to get it back on the ground and be a roller, man. Once it's a roller, it's gonna be like a huge relief, and I'm gonna feel like we're actually getting somewhere. And I just wanna see it sitting on its own weight. So I'm gonna get to cleaning up some bars and marking some stuff and start tacking. All right, checking back in here. Got all of these pipes fit, cleaned up. Got a couple tacks on them, so these bars are in where they need to go. Same with this one, in through the cab there. So those are tacked. Came down here, cleaned up and tacked my outrigger to the main hoop. Also fabbed up this little piece, plated the ends so I can run a body mount bolt through it. Got that tacked in place. And then I laid it underneath, kind of tacked up my trans cross member, pulled it out, and built these little side support braces. So training cross member is pretty much built, as in tacked together. So now I just got to finish weld up this mount, pop these bushings out, and weld that up. So that's probably what I'm gonna tackle next, because I think I'm gonna, once I get everything kind of fit, I'm just gonna start at the front of the truck and work my way back. I'm gonna finish weld up the frame joint there, move back to the trans cross member, tabs, weld that up, get this welded up, get it bolted in, it's done. Work my way back to the main hoop, weld those up, body mounts, and then come back here and just keep welding all this up. Then once it's welded, we still gotta build some more bracing in between the bars out of our 1.25 inch, but lots of work. We just gotta keep rocking. So I'm almost out of tungsten. I ordered some more, but it won't be here till Monday, but I think I have just enough that I can get these ends welded on this trans cross member. So I'm gonna get this welder fired up and I'm gonna lay some beads on here. All right, so I finally got, most of the TIG welding done. There's one there. That's a freaking sweet looking one right there. And some of them are good, some of them are terrible, but the whole back, all these bars are now fully welded. The cross member, the anti-roll bar, all that stuff. So I hopped under here, got my body mounts welded, my outriggers fully welded, and I even welded in the little drive shaft loop here. So I think it's pretty much ready to kind of get it back sitting on its own weight. Now I'm gonna get the training cross member. We're gonna bolt that in there, and then we'll probably cut these stilts off so the cab will be sitting on the frame. Training cross member will be sitting there holding it, and that'll be a good place to stop. All right, trans jack's out. Cross member is supporting the tranny. Doesn't really look like it dropped. Looks like it's pretty much where it needs to be. So we can check that off the list. I am pumped right now because tonight is the night that we're gonna see this back on all four wheels. It's really not that big of a deal, but to me, it's just gonna be like a relief, to see it back as a truck again, get it off these big steel bars. Still lots of work to go, but just to see it sit on the ground is gonna be huge. I hope you guys are excited to see that too. So the next thing I gotta do is I wanna get this diagonal link in so that the rear end will be like centered and not be flopping around when I get some weight on it. These holes are too small, so I'm gonna get those brackets off, get them drilled up, then we can set the diagonal link in there. I'll probably do a couple tacks on the bar, maybe I'll weld it up and put the shocks in, throw the wheels on it, set it on the ground. Diagonal link is in. Got a couple tacks on her holding her strong. Everything's kind of loose still, but it does in fact locate it. So it's gonna work. Time to get the coilovers in. Put the jack on the axle. There's Ash. What are you wearing? Let's get these coilovers in. Oh, and the jack is maxed out. All right, so I'm gonna jack the front up and try to get it on the suspension of the axle and get it to lift up off of these stilts I got. So then all the weight will be sitting on the suspension. And then I'll cut these off. We can see how it sits. All right, all the stilts are out. I'm getting pumped. Forget how low this thing is. Seeing it on jack stands for 2 months. You come in here, you're like, man, this sucker is low. Tire's a little low too, so it's sitting a little lower than normal. But it's on the jack stands. It is supporting its own weight. Feels good. I messed with the compression and the rebound, so it goes down and slowly comes back up. But I'm gonna set the slicks on her so we can get a good look at it. All right, let's see if it's official. Yep, it's a roller. Whew, man, talk about a good feeling. And I know it's so far from done, like, but every little milestone you hit is like a relief, you know? So getting it back on all 4 wheels is huge, because when you make that commitment and you cut your truck in half, it's like, there's no turning back, you know? We gotta make it a truck again. And, you know, we did that. Now it's a matter of fine tuning, finishing up little things, getting everything hooked back up, but I really don't think it's too far out. But man, the feeling after, you know, doing all this is awesome. So super pumped right now. Man, I could probably just sit out here and just look at this thing. Just look at it. Oh yeah. I grabbed the notcher from Pete today. So next video I'm gonna be building some more bracing out of some 1.25" and getting a lot of little bracketry and stuff finished up. But I think we're gonna catch back up tomorrow when it's daylight. I'm gonna roll this thing out so we can get a better look at it and get a good thumbnail. All right, we got it outside in the daylight so we can get a better look at it. Look at that, it's a truck again. I couldn't get it to roll all the way out of the shop. So we're gonna have to do for now. But man, it's pretty cool seeing it out here. Oh yeah, I'm loving the way it looks. So next on the list, I'm gonna build some X bracing to kind of tie this up and probably mount my fans back up there. Thought about doing them lower, but it's just kind of nice to get them up out of the way so they'll work good here. I may do a brace here or something. I don't want to add too much material, but I do want it to be strong enough. Then we got to build fuel cell mount tabs, weld up diagonal link, weld up our anti-roll bar, weld up our drive shaft loop between the 4-link crossmember. So that's all coming up in the next video. But I hope you enjoyed watching this one. I know it's been a long time coming on this video. And, but yeah, so I hope you liked it. Drop a comment down below if you think it's cool, if you're pumped to see this thing come make a comeback. Like it, share it maybe, subscribe if you're not already. And we'll see you on the next one.